What a win for the Birds. Welcome into Birds Huddle presented by Toyota with John Clark and Barrett Brooks. I'm Ashlyn Sullivan. Happy Victory Monday to everyone. The Eagles pull off another gritty win, defeating the Lions 16-9 at the Link last night. Guys, it wasn't pretty offensively, and I feel like you can have the same script for most of this regular season. Offense, a little questionable. Defense, dominant, and they get a close win, John. It was awesome.
Just think about it. We were in Lambeau Field last Monday night, right? So they beat the Packers, and then they come back home to beat the Lions, NFC North opponents, really, really tough opponents, and they held them to a total of, let me add it up, 16 points?
Pretty good.
I mean, the defense is looking like a championship defense right now.
Absolutely, but I mean, at the end of the day, we're winning, and that's the biggest point. We are winning. We are making them play the Eagle way. We made it muddy. This is a team that scored 31 points a game. Not today. You're going to win the way the Eagles. You're going to try to win the way the Eagles do it. We did a better job of going out there and making it muddy, playing our way instead of trying to go out there and score a lot of points.
It was a dominant effort from the defense, that's for sure. And we'll get more into last night's win in a bit. But some news regarding All-Pro right tackle Lane Johnson. Lane exited last night's game in the first quarter with a foot injury. He's been dealing with some injuries so far this season. Reported earlier today that he suffered a Liz Frank sprain, expected to be sidelined 4 to 6 weeks. This is major bad news, John, for an offensive line that was already dealing with a lot of inconsistency.
Yeah, and you're right. Like, they've only played one game this year where every single offensive lineman played together for every snap. Only one game. So this year, when Saquon Barkley is averaging almost half as many rushing yards per game as last year, it all starts with the offensive line and the health of the offensive line. You mentioned Cam Jurgens. Cam Jurgens, it doesn't look like he's completely healthy.
No, he's not.
He's missed some games. Landon Dickerson has missed time. Lane Johnson's been battling through injury. So this is a banged-up offensive line, and it all starts with the running game. They're not able to run the ball as well as last year, and it's because of the health of the offensive line.
We were healthy last year, and that's led to a lot of success we had. So, you can't run the tush push when you don't have a guy that's healthy at the center of attack. So say what you want to say, that's tough. It's tough.
A real bummer for Lane Johnson, hoping for the best there. As it's time now for our three-point stance presented by Toyota. Number one, the Eagles are the team to beat in the NFC. Here's a look at what the Eagles have done against teams that made the playoffs last season. Wins against 5 of the 6 playoff teams from last year. After last night's win, they've proven to be the leaders. Pretty, but the number 1 overall seed is pretty good right now.
I'm telling you, the Eagles just know how to win. And if you keep that up for a second, you remember Matthew Stafford came here to play the Eagles? Yep. Every other game I've watched Matthew Stafford, he looks like the MVP.
Yeah.
And what was he doing against the Eagles?
Exactly.
Missing receivers. Jared Goff last night, 0 for 12 when he was pressured. What did the Eagles do? They put fear into the quarterback's minds, right? I mean, you see the defensive line getting after him, and then they can't hit open receivers the rest of the game because their timing is thrown off. They got that clock. They got to get it out quicker because that line is coming.
And you look at it, that defense is playing at a level because that defensive line has finally turned the corner. Just like last year, they're getting good at the perfect time. I think a lot of these teams have already, went through their great time. We're still building. We're still getting to know guys. Now we're starting to tie that defensive end, the defensive line, to the tail end. Now the corners are playing better because those guys up front are playing better.
Yes, all phases of the Eagles defense starting to click here 10 weeks through the season. Now moving on to our second stance. This Eagles defense, it's the real deal. They've been lights out the last couple of weeks, holding the Packers to only 7 points in Week 10, holding the high-powered Lions offense to 9 points last night. Best defense in the NFL. To me, Barrett, has turned into an understatement when you're seeing this, especially the run defense. A couple weeks ago, we might have said the run defense was a weakness on this team. Not anymore.
I'll tell you what, since N'Kobe Dean comes back, I mean, he kind of solidified things. I don't know what he had or what he brought, but he's brought a lot to this defense. His ability to go out and stop the run, make tackles, shoot gaps, blitz. He has become a total package at that linebacker position, making those guys up front play a lot better. We used to have to run a lot of, we call it double eagle or a bear front. We have to cover the center and both guards. We have been going with 4 down, and him, being back there with Bond have really stepped up and stopping the run. This is huge that we could do that. Now we can play covers in the back end a lot better because those guys up front are doing their job and stopping the ball from getting to the second level. When you can allow, you can stop that offensive line and get up on those linebackers, it really puts you in a great position because now those guys can run and not worry about, getting blocked by offensive linemen. You got to steady the offensive line first. You got to keep those guys, compacted, and then those linebackers can go make make plays, and that's what's going on. They're holding the line right there and not allowing them to get to the second level.
Right. It's so true, John. We're in the locker room yesterday, and Cooper DeJean is saying how much easier his job is because of the defensive line. But when I really think about this defense and what's different, to me, it's Nakobe Dean. I don't think it's far-fetched to say he could be comeback player of the year. Who expected him with this injury to come back and make an immediate impact like this?
And the ballet that he took really helped him. and he's used to playing behind the big fellas at Georgia.
Exactly.
Because he is able to so instinctively decide when they're going to run the ball. And he's so ahead of the game. He's able to sniff out the run, and then he goes up. He's making those tackles for loss all the time.
Great play. Yep.
Very physical. But then when he's blitzing, he is perfectly timed blitzes by Vic Fangio, by the way. Perfectly timed. And he is able to get there. And then he's covering. He's covering Jahmyr Gibbs.
On a wheel route, he covered on a wheel route.
Unbelievable.
Jameson Williams on a little crossing route, he covered him then too. I mean, this is crucial times. He's done a great job. But like I said, that offensive line have to double team Carter, double team Davis, because they're not allowing you to get through that first line, initial line of scrimmage, which is making it great for those linebackers to then scrape and make plays.
Yeah, they have a ton of playmakers, that's for sure. Now our third stance tonight. We got to get to it. The Eagles can win despite their offensive woes. The Birds offense knows they have to make major improvements, but they remain focused on the main thing. Here's Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown after last night's game on the direction of the offense and how they continue somehow to win games.
We got to score points. We got to be more efficient. We got to take advantage of opportunities when they're there. And we got to control the things that we can control. It's the same MO it's been this whole entire time.
This team is resilient. This team will show up and work hard and find a way, no matter what that looks like. So.
Well, no matter what it looks like is definitely an understatement. And John, I think the conversation pregame was, okay, if this offense can't click, can this actually happen where you can ride the coattails of the defense to the Super Bowl? At first, I'm like, no way. That's a crazy statement. After yesterday's game, I'm like, you know what? That might just work.
Yeah, and Ashlyn, they don't turn the ball over, right? So they say, okay, we've got a great defense. We're not going to turn the ball over, and we can win these dogfights. Now, I will say this. You got to be able to run the ball better. I think they're going to have to run the ball better. I mean, Saquon Barkley only averaging 66 yards a game.
That's ridiculous.
Almost half of what he had per game last year. You got to start running the ball better. The fascinating thing to me is everybody's on Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has his best passer rating of his career so far. He's throwing the ball for more yards per game than he did last year and throwing it a little more. Why? Because they're not running it as well. So I think you got to find that running game, and then Jalen will be even better. I think he will be better in the passing game. Too much is on Jalen right now when you're not running the ball.
Well, also, teams know we want to run the ball, so they're going to load that box up, and that's exactly what we've been doing. They're not worried about, really, throwing in the middle of the field. They are stacking the box, making sure you're not going to run. We don't want Saquon to take this game over. So what do? You adjust accordingly. You got to get it out to your receivers on the outside. But still, we haven't scored over 20 points the last two games. Am I worried about it? Yes. Am I worried about it to the extent that I'm going to lose, what little hair I have? No. You know what I mean? It's already done. These last two games had all my hair fall out, but still, we can still dominate teams. I keep telling people, I like the fact that you make teams go out and play in this muddy water. It's murky. You're uncomfortable in it. We are comfortable in what we're doing. We make you play the Eagles' way as opposed to going out and playing their way. This team scored 31 points a game. What do? We shut them down. Make them play our game down, dirty, physical. We're going to punch you in the mouth. That's old school football. I want a Super Bowl with just running the rock, and I think this Eagles team could do the same thing. They already done it before. They've seen it before. Let's go ahead and do it again.
Right. And, John, when I think of old school football, I love that Nick Sirianni has basically told us the past couple of weeks what he wants this offense to be. You can tell number one priority is protecting the football, the lack of turnovers. When the Eagles win the turnover battle, they almost always win the game. So I don't think anyone can expect this high-powered offense all of a sudden when you're going to put the football in harm's way.
No, you're exactly right. And Nick Sirianni is preaching, be the more physical team. And you saw the defensive line and the defense be the more physical team. And what's the difference in the game, really? I mean, the Eagles should have scored a touchdown, but Cooper DeJean getting that interception off the Jordan Davis batted ball.
Yep.
So that is what happens. The Eagles do not turn the ball over. I mean, there's been so many wins this year where they're outgained by the opponent. Like last night, they're outgained by the Lions, and they win because they don't turn the ball over. They're playing incredible defense. I mean, Jalen Phillips and what he's done, Nakobe Dean, you mentioned it, that's probably the first thing that happened.
Yep.
And you're going to be able to ride this defense. Now, in the playoffs, you got to be able to run the ball, and that sets up the passing game. So I think that's coming. Mm-hmm. Hopefully Lane Johnson's back for the playoffs.
No, that's true. Please.
Yes.
Right? You really hope for that.
Lane, come back.
It's a winning recipe as of now. John, thanks so much for the time.